In this film, Hasan Ali Yücel is at your age. Do you want to be friends with him? Friends, this is Hasan Ali Yücel. I'm a Turkish statesman and politician. I'm also an educator, poet and writer. Would you like to know me better? I was born in 1897 in a very different Istanbul than you know now. In my time, we used to swim in Istanbul, run around in green areas and live in wooden houses with bay windows. These houses, which you can see rarely in Istanbul's districts such as Fener and Balad, were indispensable for traditional Turkish houses. My father is Ali Riza. My mother is Neriye Hanım. Although I am an only child, I grew up in a very large family environment with love. In the early years of my childhood, my family and I often went to Yenikapı Mevlevihanesi. What I saw here made my musical talent clear day by day, and I started my education at the music school directed by Mehmet Celaleddin Dede Efendi, known as the Master of Music. I was just 4 years old. My parents, noticing my innate ability to learn, sent me to school early. I learned to write on my own. Although there was no obligation, writing was just as enjoyable for me as playing with toys. When I was 9 years old, I was sent to a Mektebi Osmani. You know guys, I couldn't believe my eyes on the first day of school. There were things in the school that I had never seen before. This is the first time I've seen the blackboard and desks you're using right now. It was very interesting for me to listen to lectures together in class. I loved going to school, but when I came home after school, I liked to tell everyone living in the house what I learned, almost like a teacher. I immediately gathered everyone in the house around me, made rows of chairs, and seated whomever I found in the house. The papers I hang on the wall became my blackboard. The pencil in my hand served as chalk, and I would tell everyone at home what I learned at school that day. I always asked them questions to test whatever they learned or not. I finished my school loving teaching and learning. I graduated from excellent with a superior degree. During my school years, my love for reading grew so much that I used to go to Beyazıt bookstores, buy novels and read them all the time. When I started my education at Vefa High School, I focused more on writing. I participated in a competition with my article titled Revenge, and it was deemed worthy of publication. I was so happy. When I was in my senior year, I was drafted into the army because of the First World War. After 3 years of my military service, I started to Darul Fünun to complete my unfinished education. While I was continuing my education, I founded the newspaper Türk Sesi with a group of my friends. I wrote daily articles for various newspapers. My passion for teaching since I was a child grew over the years and I decided to become a teacher. I became a literature and philosophy teacher, and I trained many hard-working students like you. When I was a teacher, I wrote my work called Turkish Literature Samples. I became an inspector with the law on the Union of Education, Tevhidi Tedrisat, which came into force on March the 3rd, 1924. During my time as an inspector, I worked on writing and language problems. I was sent to Paris on a research and study mission. In 1936, I published all my studies under the name of French Cultural Affairs. After returning to my country, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk would go on an inspection tour across the country, and I would accompany him as an inspector. During this trip, which will last for 3 months, Mustafa Kemal one day asked the people next to him, "When will the Turkish nation be able to consider itself saved?" Many people answered and replied, "Pasha, whenever the Turkish nation does not need to seek savior, then it will be saved." Hearing this answer, Mustafa Kemal expressed his appreciation by saying, "What this child said is an idea worth thinking deeply about." 1 year after the inspection trip, I supported the Turkish Language Society and published many works. Among these works of mine, Goethe, a novel of a genius, won me a medal. Because I had done something that had not been done before and worked on Goethe for the first time in Turkish. Children, we were a nation that left the War of Independence behind, but still struggled with difficulties. In order to solve these difficulties, I organized congresses and councils with scientists, educators, writers and leaders of the society who are experts in their fields. With these councils and congresses, we were making breakthroughs in the fields that needed improvement in our country. We established translation offices and translated many encyclopedias, especially the Encyclopedia of Islam, and classical works from world literature into Turkish. I supported the establishment of village institutes. With the importance I attached to the development of our language, I had spelling guides, grammar books, and dictionaries prepared. Being aware of the positive impact of art on a society, I opened the first state painting and sculpture expedition. Did you know this expedition continues to be held every year on October 31st in Ankara? You will make me very happy if you visit there one day. This exhibition was such an exhibition that most of the painting and painting collections in official institutions and banks today were included in this exhibition in the past. I was not satisfied with this in the field of art, so I also supported the opening of the State Conservatory. I have always supported the establishment of new institutions for my country, such as physical education and sports councils, maintenance and repair of ancient artifacts, the establishment of museums, and the law on universities. I represented my country at UNESCO meeting attended by 43 countries. At this meeting, I emphasized that the cooperation of the United Nations in the field of education will be the basis of world peace. Dear children, as you can see, I have worked for my country, carrying out cultural and educational reforms all my life. All my effort was for my country, to make it very successful with educated, cultural and knowledgeable people who kept up with innovations. You too always work hard to improve yourself and your country, okay? Also, do not forget to include art in your life.